Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But Coach told me I can never miss a Monday.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in the city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in this week. It's a pleasure to be here with you, just like it is every Monday here in the 7 o'clock hour. I want to thank you all for taking some time out of your schedule to sit in with us this week. I want to take some time to give everyone the opportunity to pull out your smartphone, record yourself asking Coach Mike a relevant real estate question. Submit your question to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show hotline at the number you see on the screen. And our super producer, Jay Joseph, will take all of the questions, and you may very well hear your question answered on tonight's show. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, but he is also, most importantly, one of the proud founders of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank him so much for carving some time out of his schedule to sit in with us. You may know him as CEO Coach Mike, but I'd like to introduce to our audience, Mr. Michael G. Davis. How you doing?
Rick, what's up, baby? We in this building, man. Another Monday night. Super excited to be here, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, you know, it's a great day. It's always a pleasure to sit in with you, Coach Mike, man. Just so excited about today's episode because there's just been so much going on, so much that you guys have teed up at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm that we were just so excited to share with everyone in our audience. So first thing first, what's been going on with you, Coach Mike? How was this past weekend, man? How is life just going for CEO Coach Mike?
Hey, man, always out here helping people, man, changing people's lives. Had a crazy, exciting week last week. I think, Rick, we had about 10 events going on. And there were multiple times we had 2 events going on at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, in addition to our, obviously, BND TV, we have our 4 shows every week. But we had a great apartment locating training on Wednesday. We brought in one of our superstars, Miss Bria Craig, and she spoke about all the great things that she does as it relates to apartment locating. And then on Thursday, we had, I think, 5 events on Thursday. We had our builder field trip that we did on Thursday. We had the HBREA Lunch and Learn, as well as the HUD certificate class. We had our career night on Thursday as well. And then on Friday, we had our broker circle over with Chantel Froelich, and she spoke with brokers about how to get more out of their daily execution. And then we ended the week with our free HUD certificate class where, you know, starting at 10 o'clock, as well as our pre-home buyer session, Rick. Like, we had both of those things going on at the same time, just really educating buyers and the consumer on, you know, all these myths that are out there about the process. And it just demystified this process, because that's just what we do at Brooks and Davis. We're about putting people in the homes. We're about helping agents change their lives. So we did a lot of that last week, brother.
Let's talk a little bit, Coach Mike, about the new home builder field trip that you've taken, that you talked about last week, because so much as far as online media, social media, the news is trying to get the consumer to kind of hold back on purchasing homes right now. Could you just inform our audience about some of the generous incentives that are currently out there that home buyers can take advantage of if they can actually get out there with a professional like everyone at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm and can actually see what's out there and what opportunities are currently presenting itself?
Yeah, absolutely, Rick. So we have 3 builders that we partner with. Perry Homes, which is in Pomona. We have D.R. Horton, which is in Sierra Vista. And then Oracle Homes is building a new home community in the Acres Homes area. And all 3 of those building communities offer major incentives for home buyers that are interested. And those prices range, the low 300s all the way up. For instance, Perry Homes, man, in one of their properties, they've dropped the house over $100,000. And then the incentives that they're offering are just off the chain. I know with Oracle Homes, if you go through their partnership with the city of Houston, you can get up to $150,000 incentive to purchase one of those brand new homes as well. And like I said, that's in the Acres Homes area. That's just a few of the things that are currently in the market to really subsidize kind of what's going on with the interest rates. And that's what it is about real estate in the market. Even when things adjust and make things unaffordable, there's other activities and opportunities that present themselves to subsidize what is happening in the market. And unfortunately, not every real estate professional knows what those are. But at Brooks and Davis, we have access to those resources. We know how to adjust based off of what the market is doing to still ensure that people purchase a home. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be better to own, regardless of what the interest rates are. They're not 100%. And that's what interest rates are when you're renting. You're paying 100% interest. So
yes, absolutely.
So we're always looking for opportunities to help people take advantage of this vehicle called real estate.
And just to speak to your point, Coach Mike, one of the things that I talk to so many of my clients that I educate about is that anytime in real estate there seems to be a difficulty or a challenge or an obstacle, there's going to also be opportunities that present itself on the other side of that spectrum, that those in the know, those that are knowledgeable, and those that are working with sound professionals are always going to be able to take advantage of. So I urge everyone in our audience, heed Coach Mike's advice, reach out to myself, reach out to Coach Mike, reach out to the office at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, because there will be no other time like right now to take advantage of those generous buyer incentives that are out there in the brand new home, first time home buyer community. So let's take advantage of that if at all possible.
Hey, Rick, and look, we're serious about it at Brooks and Davis. I mean, it's something that every week now, not this Thursday because of Thanksgiving, but every Thursday, every Thursday at 2:00, we got a team of agents that are going out and educating themselves and being present in these communities. So they're definitely up to speed of all the opportunities that are out here in the marketplace.
Absolutely, man. I thank you so much for just getting us up to date, keeping us up to speed as far as what's going on, man. It's hard to keep up with everything that's going on at Brooks and Davis. So I urge everyone, follow Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm on Instagram, follow Coach Mike, follow myself, tap into Brooks and Davis TV on YouTube, and big shout out to everybody who's supporting the YouTube channel currently. Man, Coach Mike, one of the great things about working with this particular platform and building along with you is that we get the questions from those members of the real estate community, and it helps keep us relevant. It helps keep us to know what's going on out there and to be able to help people with some of the challenges that they're facing as they go out and build their real estate brand. So we have some really exciting questions, Coach Mike. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on them. And if you're ready, I want to ask you the first question that we have teed up for you.
Hey, let's jump into it, man. Let's go.
Let's check this out, Coach. Coach Mike, I really want to learn how to assist with apartment and leasing homes. I have friends asking me for help. Where do I start?
Hey, that is a great question. This person would have really gotten a lot of value out of our apartment locating training that we did on last Wednesday, where Ms. Bria Craig really gave us all the ins and outs as it related to that. Ideally, we'll be able to have that training up on our YouTube channel so people can go back and see what they missed. But the question is, where do I start? When it comes to apartments, if it's about apartments, then Apartment Data Service, I feel like that's a great place to begin. What it does is it gives you access to the available apartments. It gives you access to what incentives that they're offering, as well as the ones that are paying commission and what that commission looks like. So, signing up with apartment data services, I think, is key when it comes to people that are needing assistance when it comes to apartment. And, apartment locating is very lucrative, Rick. So when people, are needing that service, you definitely want to help them, especially if you're a brand new agent, because these individuals that you help with apartments or with rental homes, those are your future home buyers, right? When you successfully facilitate them getting into their lease, their 12-month lease, then now what that does is that gives you 12 months of nurturing that relationship and positioning that client to be able to purchase. I mean, that right there is your pipeline of future business. So it's a great way to start and segue. When it comes to helping people with rental homes, again, very great opportunity. Now, I know at Brooks and Davis, we do it a certain way because we want to make sure that the client doesn't waste a lot of time. They don't waste a lot of money, with application fees and things like that. So we do it a certain way, but it's a great place to start. And, if this was a Brooks and Davis agent, then it's easy. It's an easy answer, right? You tap into your mentor. You tap into the support here at Brooks and Davis, your Success in Real Estate Machine, which, is the trainings that will explain our different processes with these. So you have access to a lot of tools and resources that can assist when it comes to these things. Now, if you're not a member of Brooks and Davis, then hopefully whatever brokerage that you're with, you have a mentor, or you can go to your broker, or you can go to someone that can give you guidance when it comes to these two things, when it comes to the apartments and when it comes to the rentals.
One of the things that you touched on, Coach, that I really am in agreement with you on is how lucrative the apartment locating space can be. For all those new agents that may not feel as knowledgeable about the resale market, who may not have had the opportunity to develop relationships with new home builders and new home sales agents, you can start off with your sphere of influence, helping people find new apartments. It's easy to break the ice. You can ask people when their leases expire. How are they as far as being satisfied with where they currently stay? And for those in that rental market, you'll be surprised how forthcoming and transparent they can be as far as wants, needs, and eventually a time frame for buying. So everyone out there, new agents, definitely take that information that Coach Mike just mentioned, add it to your tool belt. And if you are a Brooks and Davis agent, tap in, reach out to your mentor, because if you need some ideas as far as how to market to those looking for apartments, like you said, Coach Mike, your Success in Real Estate Machine has all that worthwhile information already teed up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the great things about their question, Rick, is they said that they have friends that are asking. So they're already attracting the business, which in many instances, that's the hardest part about breaking through in this business is getting to a point to where you begin to attract business to you. So yeah, you already have your friends asking. You want to be positioned to where you can assist those individuals in whatever their need is, and then set them up to be your future clients again.
Coach Mike, what's amazing is how many new agents may undervalue the importance of having people reach out to them directly and ask questions and pick their brain. And I know one of the things that you talk about a lot with new agents is when people are calling you and reaching out, they're asking to be educated. They're asking for you to walk them through that process. So assume the sale, assume that they're hiring you, and walk them down that path because they're coming to you because they're asking for your knowledge and expertise.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely, Rick.
Hey, man, that's a great question, man. I hope that we can get you as fired up for question number 2, because that question there, Coach Mike, I could tell touched on one of your hot buttons that you are really, really passionate about.
Absolutely, Rick. I mean, look, they're all my hot buttons, Rick. I just want to help. I want to help some people understand, some agents understand how to do this business and be successful in it.
Let's check out question number 2, Coach.
Absolutely.
Coach Mike, how do you help buyers find distressed / fixer-upper properties? Coach Mike, I think they're asking more about how would a real estate agent help a potential real estate investor as far as finding potential properties to acquire?
Well, I mean, there's plenty investors out there that want to find properties. They want to find distressed properties. They want to find fixer-upper properties.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a realtor, unfortunately, it's difficult for us to get access to those kind of properties if it's not coming straight from our sphere of influence, right? Sometimes investors believe, oh, we could just go onto the MLS and look on the MLS every day, and those opportunities present themselves. And what I found, Rick, is that, by the time they get on the MLS, their client, they've spoken to a realtor, that realtor has done a market analysis, that realtor understands, the values. So that margin that many investors are looking for, it's not necessarily there on the MLS. So, and then other tactics that, investors use, they call them bird dogs or wholesalers. They're sending out mail outs, they're putting out signs, they have relationships and partnerships with, divorce attorneys or bankruptcy attorneys and, probate attorneys where maybe estates need to liquidate. It's really the distressed fixer-upper situation is when a person has a problem or a situation and they need to get out of it fast. It's not about how much money that they're going to make. It's about how fast, they can get to that cash. And as real estate professionals, it's one of those things that you have to be tied into the relationships that attract those kind of properties for your buyers. So I say all that to say is, especially as a new agent, be careful when you're approached by a investor, because many of those investors, they don't want to commit to you as their only realtor. They want you to put in a lot of legwork. They want to be able to use you as a tool and a resource for them to get information. And what it could end up turning into is you putting out a lot of energy and a lot of effort and not getting anything in return from that. So you definitely got to be careful. But you can't, there are certain relationships out there, especially if you've been in this business sometime, where you get with investors that they have access to the capital and that loyalty is created, and you are maybe able to assist them move the needle forward. So, that's my take on all of it, Rick. I'd love to hear what you have to think about that, Rick.
Well, I would always urge everyone in our audience to leave no stone unturned, and that especially in real estate as a professional, we can take advantage of every possible resource and every possible networking opportunity. So I urge everyone that as you meet real estate investors, those that are into fixing and flipping, those are into long-term holds, make sure you keep their information. Make sure you add them as part of your contact list, because like you mentioned, Coach Mike, as someone who's a real estate practitioner, you never have an idea when you may have a potential distressed seller. Someone who may not necessarily, through either time or circumstance, may not necessarily be ready, willing, and able to put the home on the market and sell it on the MLS at retail. And you would be doing them an invaluable service if you had potential cash buyers already within your network to be able to put their property in front of. So to your point, Coach Mike, meet these people, interact with them, see what it is that they are looking to do from an investment standpoint, chronicle that, keep them as part of your contact list, because you'll never know when you might have the perfect seller for that perfect investor.
Nah, great way to put it, Rick.
So, man, big, huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Big, huge shout out to everybody who's been submitting questions, man, because without you, without your intellect, without these questions, me and Coach Mike would have no Monday Night Live. So thank you so much, Absolutely. Coach Mike. We got our third question set up for you, sir. So if you're ready, I want you to check out question number 3.
All right, let's bring it.
Coach Mike, do certain lenders work with certain programs? For example, can any lender work with the Harvey Economic Program or the City of Houston and Community Development Programs?
Okay. To their question, Rick, Yeah, well, here's the thing. For these particular programs, they require a certification. They require the lender to go through some type of class or training to get certified and up to speed as it relates to the the product that they're offering. Because these programs like the Harvey Economic Program, the City of Houston, the Harris County, the state programs like TSHAC and SEF, they have to be processed a certain way. So they want whatever mortgage professional that's able to offer those programs, they want them to be versed in how to process them. So that's another thing you got to be careful if you're a buyer, if you're working with a lender, and if they're just pushing one particular program, that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that you may qualify for, that's the only down payment assistance option. That just means that that's probably the only one that they've been certified in. So that's the one that they're telling you about. There's a multitude of down payment assistance options for people that need additional help or additional money when it comes to purchasing a home. So to this viewer's question, do certain lenders work with certain programs? Yeah, that's pretty prevalent in our business, seeing certain lenders, pretty much only push out or recommend certain programs because those are the ones that they're certified in. Now, you do run into lenders that are certified in all of them. They position themselves as a resource to be able to assist any kind of buyer when it comes to down payment assistance. So they get qualified in all of the programs. So that's not something that you should be shocked at either if you do run across a lender that is proficient in all of them.
What's so interesting about that question and your answer, Coach Mike, is because as someone who's a potential buyer, potential investor, of course, when you reach out to a lender, you have no idea before you call them what they're certified in. And they're going to do their best job to promote themselves, to illustrate what they can do, and to highlight the programs that they're certified in.
Right.
I urge everyone to reach out to a licensed real estate professional, a realtor, someone like Coach Mike, someone like myself, because we aren't necessarily committed to one particular lender. Right. So we can give our clients an overview to the entire lender community, what lenders specialize in what product, who's certified in what, and we can help you choose a lender that will best be able to serve your particular and unique needs, as opposed to you reaching out to a lender on your own and being at the mercy of what services they can provide.
No, absolutely, Rick. And, at Brooks & Davis, we go a step further. Our clients have access to our home buyer and seller toolkit that has a multitude of resources that most real estate companies don't even know about. So there is so many ways to buy a home or to sell a home to ultimately get a client what their actual outcome or result that they're looking for. And through the years at Brooks & Davis and through those that are connected to the company, it's a wealth of knowledge. We bottled it all up in our resource and our home buyers and sellers toolkit that our clients have access to. So whatever your situation is, we have a solution for it. And that's why it's even more, in your interest to really connect with a Brooks & Davis agent.
The reason this question is so powerful, Coach Mike, and if you wouldn't mind elaborating for our audience, could you just highlight for them how valuable these down payment assistance programs can be in a real world dollar and cents standpoint? Because there are some members of our audience who may be in the market to buy their first home, who may have even been pre-qualified for a lender, who for whatever reason, down payment assistance programs haven't been presented to them. They haven't been educated. Could you just share a little bit about what they may be missing out on, Coach Mike, if those who are eligible don't take advantage of the programs that are out there?
Absolutely, Rick. And keep in mind, these down payment assistance programs are for people who plan on purchasing a home and living in that house.
Absolutely.
Right? And living in that house, at least 3 to 5 years. This isn't for somebody that's just trying to buy for 1 year and then sell. because many of these down payment assistance programs, they have that requirement to where, if you don't stay in it a certain amount of time, then it becomes a lien on the house that has to be paid off, once you sell it. So, this is really for somebody that's wanting to lay down roots, and they want to do that with the purchase of this home. But as far as what people are missing out on, Rick, I mean, I think it's really what's stopping many people from even being able to purchase, just period. Right? They're stuck renting, they're stuck in apartments, they're stuck renting houses. And it's not because they don't qualify for the loan, right? They just don't have the liquid funds that's required. Long gone are the days of a person being able to buy a house with no money down, right? Well, let me say that, without tapping into down payment assistance, right? So, no, you don't need to put 20% down, right? You can go FHA, or they have a lot of affordable products that are conventional, that don't require, they require 3 to 5% down. But hey, the median home right now in Houston is north of 300,000. Look, 5% on a $300,000 house, that's 15 grand, right? People, there ain't many people out here that's just walking around, and that's not even including closing costs. So it can get very pricey as it relates to how much upfront money you need because of where the home prices are right now. So that's why it's imperative that people understand that the down payment assistance is available, so as to not create, to not eliminate the option of home ownership, right? So people are like, it's not that I can't get approved for the loan, it's just the houses are so expensive, the upfront cash requirement is so much that there's no choice but to rent, right? So I think that's where the down payment comes in and can bridge that gap.
No, that's a great point, Coach Mike, because I'm sure there are so many members of our audience that would have closed on their new home 6 months ago if they could have did it for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 like in the past. But to your point now, those same homes the value has appreciated, and those same homes are now requiring a $15,000, $17,000, $18,000 down payment.
Right.
But like you mentioned, everyone relax, because there are programs in place where there is down payment assistance available for you, so that these funds don't have to come out of your savings, don't have to come out of your pocket. So reach out, educate yourselves, reach out to me on Instagram, reach out to Coach Mike, and we can definitely get you set up, man. Thank you so much for that, Coach Mike, because that's great information.
No, Rick, everybody's getting caught up on the interest rates, right? Interest is so high, interest rates, things like that. But people tend to forget, Rick, when you file your taxes at the end of the year, there's a couple of write-offs that you have. One of them is interest, right? And one of them is property taxes. So, whatever that interest rate is, you're going to get that back at the end of the year with your taxes. So, that's there as well. So, being able to position yourself to purchase a home, that's always going to be a financial win for you as just a consumer, as a citizen. And we say it all the time, man, it's your duty to own a piece of land, own a piece of the country that you're a citizen of. And the tax code agrees with us.
Absolutely. The cool thing, Coach Mike, man, is that I hope the members of our audience can truly feel how much enjoyment doing this show on Mondays brings myself and yourself, because this type of information is something that we never get tired of talking about. And this type of education is something that we know is very well much needed for those who are buying, selling, and investing, and for real estate professionals as well. So thank you so much, Coach Mike. Earlier in this episode, you talked about how busy last week was at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to give you an opportunity to fill our audience in about what's going on this week at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. What's coming on Brooks and Davis TV, and what should everyone be looking out for?
Absolutely, Rick, man. I'm so glad that you asked about that. So this week we have a great lineup of shows. Again, starting tomorrow at 12:30. We're having the Real to Life podcast. We're bringing in Miss Jackie Curry. She's a realtor and event planner. So it's going to be a phenomenal conversation. I can't wait to learn more about what she has to share. And for those of you all that aren't familiar with the Real to Life podcast, it's a platform where we bring on real estate professionals and we want to learn about what are they passionate about, outside of real estate. Because as real estate professionals, we're people too, people with passions, many layers. And I wanted to have a platform where we were able to showcase those things. So tomorrow's guest is Miss Jackie Curry. Can't wait to hear her story. Then at 2:30 tomorrow, we're doing, this is the last Mastermind Through Tough Times for season 2. So this is the very last episode. Then we're going to take a hiatus, and then we're going to begin preparing for season 3. We're going to have a couple of adjustments and shifts as we do that going into the new year. So this is the last episode of the year. And again, Mastermind Through Tough Times, real estate professionals, just talking about a little bit of randomness. A random topic for tomorrow: would you change your family holiday traditions for $5,000? Is what we're gonna be talking about on tomorrow. And look, it's a lighthearted show. Myself and my co-host Margaret, and then our super producer Jay Joseph is a part of that as well. And we have trending topics. We have real estate gone wild. We look at what's on Twitter, what's trending. So, it's a very lighthearted show. We really enjoy it. We allow our guests to come on the screen and partake in the conversation. So that's going to be tomorrow at 2:30. Would you change your family holiday traditions for $5,000? And then we have we have the Prime Real Estate Network, actually. So we have the Prime Real Estate Network, which is a part of BND TV. And that is going to be on Thursday at 12:30. And Rick, if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about that show and, who you guys are having as a guest on this week, if y'all are doing it.
One of the cool things about hosting the Prime Real Estate Network podcast is that we've been able to deliver relevant real estate information and education for the last 3 seasons. The only drawback is that we host our show on Thursdays. So unfortunately, the Prime Real Estate Network podcast will be preempted by Thanksgiving.
There we go.
But I urge everyone to go to our YouTube channel this Thursday, catch up on the past 3 weeks of episodes, because we've had really dynamic guests, really powerful leaders, and we've also featured a professional comedian on the Prime Real Estate Network. And I know what you're thinking. How can that be relevant to real estate? But I urge everyone to go to the Prime Real Estate Network channel, check out our interview of professional comedian, Mr. Kanice 100K. And I promise you will not only be educated, but also entertained. So thank you so much, Coach Mike, for giving me a chance to drop that plug in, because I really want to thank everybody who supports the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube.
Absolutely. And then finally, Rick, on Saturday, this is right after, Thanksgiving weekend, Action Jackson. So we're bringing back the Action Jackson's gun training classes. So they're going to be having one on this Saturday at 9:30. It's going to be at the BND, the central office, the CNC Center. So in the cost, it's your range fees, your ammo, the handgun will be provided. All of that is required. But you're going to get the education that you need when it comes to owning a handgun, managing it, keeping it safe, and doing all of those things. So that's going to be this Saturday at 9:30, Action Jackson's gun training class. Make sure you go to www.brooksanddavis.com to learn more about everything that we have going on, to reserve your spot, so you can make sure you get all the pertinent information that you need to be able to log on. So another jam-packed week. We're super excited, and we can't wait.
Man, I hope everyone in the audience can truly take advantage of all these great educational and informative events and workshops that we're hosting over at Brooks and Davis TV. I urge everyone to go to our website at brooksanddavis.com. Follow CEO Coach Mike on Instagram. Follow myself on Instagram. And Coach Mike, we're at the point of our show where I like to give you an opportunity to have some final words to the audience. Is there anything that you would like to say to our audience before we sign out this week?
Well, hey, look, the holiday seasons are here, Rick. Things are going to be slowing down and getting a little awkward. The kids are out. Like I know with us, the kids are out throwing the schedule off. But it's a great time to just really kind of reflect on this last year, reflect on your performance for the last year, and then begin to plan, right? Start thinking about now. Start thinking about what you want to be doing January 1, 2023. Start writing the plan out. Start laying it out. So when the ball drops, on midnight of December 31st, you'll be ready to go, right? You'll be ready to start off fast and hit that first quarter hard. So, now is the time to really start assessing and planning to position yourself to take off fast for the new year.
Man, I want to thank you so much, Coach Mike, man. You do such a great job of not only answering questions for our audience, but at the same time, keeping everybody abreast of what's new and fresh in the real estate market. You travel the world, you better yourself, and you come home and you give that game back to us. And for that, we're thankful. I want to thank you so much, Coach Mike. And on behalf of yourself, I'm Rick Davis. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. In the meantime, in between time, do not stop submitting questions. Don't stop filming yourself on your smartphone, because myself and Coach Mike just love interacting with our audience and getting those questions answered for you. So everyone in the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show audience, until the next time we have opportunity to visit with each other, everyone out there, please be safe and be blessed.